This is the Weekly Scramble, a place where we chat about life over a cold one or two. It's time to belly up to the pod with Mike Fratelloni and your host, Chris Reavers.
That's right. It's time for the Weekly Scramble podcast. My name is Chris Reavers. With me, as always, his name is Mike Fratelloni. Hello, Michael.
Reavers, I am so riled up. You saw me. If you were watching on YouTube, I was riled up.
Yeah.
And I did something so hard that I thought I was going to pass out, and I did it for exactly 3 seconds. That's means
intense.
I'm in shape.
I don't know what it is, too, because, well,
I'm just pissed.
I personally know what it is with me, but it's that I think what it is. You know, I have a guess. Mm-hmm. It's the same almost lull that we have on what's called Blue Monday. It's just that we have better weather. So you know what Blue Monday is, right?
Remind me.
The second Monday of January.
Okay.
So it's always after the first of the year dies down. Everyone's, because the holiday week, and you think it's the worst week in radio.
Well, second worst week.
And,
last week of the year is the worst week.
And so the week between Christmas and New Year's is festive. It's fun. There's no traffic. Everyone's in a good mood. Let's hit the reset button on life.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, January 10th to the 15th rolls around. We're like, crap.
Yeah.
We're stuck in this, but it's almost that same where everyone's in a good mood for the 4th of July and everyone's kind of festive. And then it's like, okay, now we're back to reality, even though the weather's much nicer than it is in January. So I have a feeling that that's what it is.
That could be it. What it is with me is that I feel like I'm running in
quicksand?
maple syrup. Right.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just
Masters
running
Maples?
Masters Maple real slow because when everyone was out of town, I couldn't get anything done. Right. Let me be honest, Reavers. My labor alone does not get enough stuff done. Right. People work with me all day long on this show and on our social media and our company and our property. We have people working with us all day long. Everyone was gone. I didn't get anything done. So I'm texting people like, hey.
And you did not go anywhere for the 4th?
I did not go.
Okay.
I worked every day.
Because don't you normally do something for the 4th?
My sister, who's going to listen to this, my sweet sister Sue, went up to the cabin with all of her kids and grandkids.
Okay.
Some of the grandkids are really tiny, right? So it's a family cabin. We all share this cabin. And she gets up there, and I'm like, it's normally the 4th is my week, right? Didn't do it this time. I couldn't get it. My kids work. It doesn't really work. So she said that she's going to take it, which is absolutely fantastic. She did a ton of work. Come around Saturday, storms come through, knock the power out.
Oh, no.
So they have no power. It's 100 degrees up there.
And
little
everyone
kids.
Went
home.
Oh,
Everyone went
dear
home.
God.
I felt horrible for her. But I was still working.
It's funny. Okay, so I promise we have a subject matter to get to, but I want to share this story.
Not a good one, but we got a subject
But here's the thing. I had this very conversation this morning. Our kids are all in camps in the morning and whatnot, so it's dropping off this kid, picking up that kid, so on and so on. So I was just sitting there BSing with the dad, and he said, yeah, we were up at my wife's family's cabin, and we lost power. Same thing. Storms went through. And I said, he goes, yeah, the air conditioning went out. I said, I would have been in the vehicle finding the nearest Holiday Inn within 30 minutes.
Sure.
And he said, oh, come on. I go, oh, no. Yeah. Years ago, we brought baby William. He wasn't a year old, and we were down in Iowa. Same thing happened. We lost power, and I didn't know if it was the whole hotel. I had no idea. I said, if they don't get us another room, we are getting another hotel because I cannot sleep when it's humid. I can't. I just sit and sweat. I toss and turn, and I'm a disaster. So.
First world problems.
I know, right? Exactly.
I can't even sleep without air conditioning, but I get it.
But I was home alone. I got to tell you, I had that air conditioning cranked to like 63
I had
degrees.
a conversation with my wife, and I know Sushere would agree with me on this. She knocked it down to 67 degrees because it was really hot outside. And I said, honey, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't matter what the temperature outside. If you set it to 67, then the inside is 67. I said, you notice all of our windows are like frosted or steamed over, right? Because it's so hot outside and so cold inside, condensation instantaneously happens. She goes, no, but it's too hot outside, so I want it cooler inside. My wife is not a dope, even though the story makes her sound like a dope. She's not a dope. But I'm like, set it at 69. I gave you 69.
Mike, I love you. I'm 100% with her.
Really?
I would have cranked it even. In fact,
drives me nuts.
If I was your wife, I would have set it to about 62.
Yeah, okay, good. Good. I'm going to promise you, we're never getting married.
Okay,
even
got
though
it.
it would be legal. Nothing's wrong with that. It's never going to happen.
Nothing's wrong with that. All right, we have become kind of the show that loves to explore the great unknown, things like AI and whatnot.
Yeah. AI is good.
And I really think we need to find a way to establish a new, like a benchmark segment on this show where we dabble into AI. We'll come up with something. We'll use AI to come up with a creative title for that benchmark segment. Yeah. But I saw this story earlier today, and it made me snicker. It made me laugh. And then after that, it made me feel deeply, deeply troubled by just exactly what's going on out there. So the State Department is now warning U.S. diplomats of attempts to impersonate Secretary of State Marco Rubio and possibly other officials using technology driven by artificial intelligence, according to 2 senior officials in a cable sent last week to all embassies and consulates. The warning came after the department discovered that an impostor posing as Rubio had attempted to reach out to at least 3 foreign ministers, a U.S. senator, and a governor, according to the July 3rd cable, which was first reported by the Washington Post. The recipients of the scam messages, which were sent by text, signal, and voicemail, were not identified in the cable, a copy of which was shared with the Associated Press. The State Department is aware of the incident and is currently investigating this matter, it said. The department takes seriously its responsibility to safeguard its information and continuously take steps to improve the department's cybersecurity posture to prevent future incidents. It declined to comment further due to security reasons and the ongoing investigation. It's the latest instance of a high-level Trump administration figure targeted by an impersonator, with a similar incident revealed in May involving President Donald Trump's chief of staff, Susie Wiles. I got to tell you, it was like, oh, that's kind of funny. Wait a minute.
Yeah, not so funny.
But here's why it's not so funny. Because of what happened here in Minnesota not that long ago, where sadly Melissa Hortman and her husband were gunned down.
Yeah, not so funny at all. Yeah.
Well, but that's what I'm thinking. Like, how soon until this is used for those types of...
You just can't believe anything. You can't believe. That's why in-person sales. If your kid's in college right now, tell them to not worry about anything besides getting a job in in-person sales. Because the only way people are going to believe you is if you're standing in front of them. Every email is going to be inconsequential. Every message is going to be inconsequential. But person-to-person sales is going to work.
I was watching a news clip over the long holiday break that we had, and it wasn't in this state, but it was a professor, and the subject, because I know how to party when I got time off.
Sure,
I was breaking down a news segment, but it was really interesting because the news segment was basically a professor, and I don't want to speculate on the school because I don't remember, but you can apply it to basically any school in the United States. About one of the reasons for declining enrollment is the role that artificial intelligence has now played in the workforce.
Sure.
We've seen it play out here where we used to have, so I'll let people in on this. When we used to do ads for, back in the radio days, you would have this thing called a voice bank where, okay, I need a middle-aged woman to voice the spot for Acme Garden Company, or I need an older gentleman to voice this for a medical supply company. Like, you would have certain types of voices that you could go to where you'd call up, our good buddy. You remember Carolyn Peterson? She used to. We used to do the show from her studio.
Yep.
And Carolyn got a big time job being a voiceover nationally, and she was one of our go tos because she's just a pro's pro. And people like that are now being phased out because why pay somebody to be that voice bank when you can have AI do it for nothing?
Why would you ever? Those,
but okay,
the world is gone. Those are all those jobs are gone.
And so this professor was saying this was just his theory, but he basically said, with the active role that AI is now playing in the workforce, that we feel these declining enrollments are just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. Because why? Why would you spend $100,000 or whatever it is to go get a degree when you can learn how to do something artificially on the interwebs, and you're going to be able to make money when you're 19? You know
what's going to help us with this AI thing? And I came up with this theory on my own. I'm kind of proud, Reavers. Is just because AI is going to make some things obsolete doesn't mean the greed of corporations will be gone. No corporation is going to say, hey, I'm going to get rid of all these low-level employees, right, through AI. What they're going to say is, because of AI, instead of being 13% more efficient this next year, every employee needs to become infinitely more efficient, 400, 500, 600 times more efficient, right? And they're going to use the tools of AI. So instead of a company having a return of X, they're going to say, hey, we need X times X, right? So the greed of corporations is still going to hire a bunch of people. And they might say, we're going to have a bunch of salesmen out in the field, and then every call we get to tech support is going to be AI driven, right? But you have to have, it's just going to be a blooming of competency outside of the AI, right? It's going to be face-to-face competency.
And you know what? As much as I spread doom and gloom with the broadcast industry, the Garage Logic podcast, our Big Brother podcast, we were kind of ahead of the curve with that, with the implement of AI in certain scenarios. Because we had...
Whose fault is that?
We had Sidekick in a can years ago.
Yep.
So, oh my God, that Sidekick in a can might have taken Rookie's career.
Still could. It's funny, when you told me about the story, you said, hey, did you hear the story about Rubio and AI? And I said, oh, wow. And my first thought was, why would somebody fake Ricky Rubio's voice? And then I was like, hello, it's Ricky Rubio. I'm calling from America. I need to get, it wasn't Marco Rubio. I didn't even think of someone pertinent to today's world. I went straight to Ricky Rubio. How great is that?
It's funny. We were watching old Timberwolves highlights the other day, and he came up.
You were?
My boys and I were, because it's we were watching the draft.
And
then
God, introduce them to some girls. My God, those boys.
Well, they're not old enough for girls yet.
One of them's 13.
Yeah.
My God, kids are married at that age.
Well, but my point was he became fascinated with who's this little guy that's playing for the Timberwolves.
Rubio.
I'm like, it's Ricky Rubio. He was, and they weren't old enough when he was playing with the Wolves. In fact, Leland wasn't even born.
Sure.
I said, oh, you guys would have loved him. He would have been your favorite. He would have been your favorite
cool.
Timberwolves player.
He was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. If you're spending, you do spend some quality time with your kids. Someone on the frat pack wrote something nice, like I made fun of you to go into these games, and he's like, hey, it's the best time of your life going to the games with these kids.
I commented on that. It was a gentleman that I said I was a nerd for watching the NBA draft with my boys. That was a very nice comment that he made, too.
He said, hey, you're never a nerd doing something with your kids. And like, if you're looking through 17-year-old Ricky Rubio highlight reels with your kids, okay, I do have some nerd game for you.
Go ahead.
Okay, you ready? So I compiled a list. I saw it on the internet. I got like a couple of these right, which is pretty good.
Okay.
I think you're going to get 8 out of 10 right. Okay. So let me tell you what it is. I'm going to ask you, and everybody that's watching or listening at home can play along. I want to talk and ask you about the rarest single game rarest thing that's ever happened in a Major League Baseball. And when we get back from break, it's the top 10, and I want you to figure out if you can name all 10.
Put me on the spot. I love it. I love
think
it.
You can do it.
I absolutely love it. Let's talk about our friends at North American Banking Company. I made a stop in at North American Banking Company. What was that? 2 weeks ago, I went to the Hastings location, and they are so cool. I got to tell you, I really was tired of being just a number to my big national bank, where I would literally walk to the counter and it would take forever just to, hey, can I get help with something here? And then
do they try to sell you 12 other things?
No, what they do is they make you sit down and wait for a personalized banker.
Yeah.
I ain't got that kind of time.
Then wants to say, oh, do you need a credit card for this? Or what about a home fix-it loan?
I just need help with my account. Okay. I don't need to go to anyway, but that's it's banking done differently. And that's why I decided to make the switch. And I think you'll be happy if you decide to make the switch as well, because they've been at it since 1998, when they made a promise to deliver a better banking experience for their customers, where you know your banker and they, of course, know you. And while a lot has changed since then, this commitment to being a true community bank in the Twin Cities, that has not. Were you waving at me?
No, I had a little Royce-like gas attack, so I was showing the people on camera. I was apologizing to the YouTubers.
They invest in the people, businesses, and organizations that make the Twin Cities a great place to live, and they get it. They understand that there's no shortage of banking options here in the Twin Cities. So if you're tired, like I was, of just being a number to your big national bank, then be sure to check out my friends at North American Banking Company. And right now is a great time to put your home's equity to work, and that's because a home equity line of credit from North American Banking Company is going to give you flexible access to funds when you need them most. Whether it's a home project or at the cabin, an unexpected expense, or something else, their experts make it easy. So check them out online today. It's nabankco.com to learn more. nabankco.com to learn more. North American Banking Company, member FDIC, is an equal housing lender. The Weekly Scramble. We will be right back. Ready?
I am.
Here you go. So you're going to quiz me.
I think you can do well on this. Okay, so here's again the quiz. Play at home with us, right? You can do this.
Okay.
Write it in the comments, review this segment, do whatever you want to do. It's the rarest single game MLB game stats. The
Single
feats.
game.
So it happened in one single game.
All right.
And it's the rarest things to happen in Major League Baseball.
Dating
First
back,
question.
dating all the way back. Okay.
So let me first go to how many games, and this is a rough number, right?
All right.
How many games do you think have been played in Major League Baseball since its inception?
Oh my God.
It's a tough one, isn't it?
Well, I mean, you got to think too, because it's 162 now, but it was 140. It was 120 some. Oh my God! Can I use a calculator?
Yeah, go ahead and use a calculator.
Okay, so we got to be. I'm just going to take a guess. I'm going to take a rough stab
take a wild
at it.
guess.
Wait, that's not.
Because I think people
that's not
are
my
kind of taking a
calculator.
guess on the internet because they really don't. No one's gone back.
I'm going to say 100 times 162.
Let's see.
Well, okay. Here's how I'm going to answer
Yeah.
it. One of the things that was startling to me, I'm going to guess it's got to be 30,000 games. I have no idea.
248,000 games.
Okay, I was way off. Okay, one of the things I found fascinating, and it was a cool because again, I know I'm a nerd.
Sure.
So I follow a lot of nerdy baseball and sports accounts, but there was a cool photo of Cleveland's current ballpark. It was Progressive Field. I think it might have a new name now,
Are
but
you looking at me like I would
I know, but it was and I think that stadium seats just shy of 40,000. It's about the same size as Target Field.
Okay.
And they had 32,000 people or whatever. And it said if every single player that ever made it to the major leagues from the beginning of time to today went to one baseball game, they still wouldn't fill up Cleveland.
Really?
It was just kind of
that's
cool.
a cool stat.
It's like perspective.
Yeah.
So
there hasn't been more than 40,000
So you said how
players.
many?
248,000 games.
Wow.
And you got to remember that's two teams. So each team is
Oh,
two teams are playing in a
and
game, right?
Playoffs and
that's all included.
I didn't even think of that.
That's
Okay.
roughly, so that's a rough number, but that's what the internet says, and I
Interesting.
kind of believe it. I read it
Interesting.
pretty detailed. Okay, so of the top 10.
Of the top
I
10.
don't have a pencil, but I'll remember this.
That's okay.
So give me some ideas of what you think some of them are. You know what some of them are.
Well, you gave me a chance to catch up. I think the most strikeouts in a single game is 20. And the only reason I know that is it was Kerry Wood, and that was 98 for the Cubs. But I wonder if anybody has passed him since then.
Okay, so that's number 3 out of the top 10. There's been, of 20 strikeout games, there's been a total of 5.
Oh, wow.
In the history of the sport.
So he tied the record. He
Yes,
did not
he tied
surpass the
so
record.
that is,
okay.
So now anything above that,
By the way,
right?
he did that against the Houston Astros, and it was a fall game. In
Was he a
1998.
lefty?
No, he's a righty.
Okay, just
and he had
checking.
that big sweeping curveball.
Oh, I
He
remember
wore number
that.
34, which is one of my favorite numbers too.
God. Okay, you got one.
Okay.
So number 3 again. This is the third
20 strikeout
rarest thing
games.
was a 20 strikeout game. There's been
All
5
right.
of them.
All right. I'm going to say I think this is still a record, but the most home runs by an individual player was 4, and I think the one I remember is Mark Whitten, and he did that when he was playing for the St. Louis Cardinals. I believe he did it at the old Riverfront Stadium where the Cincinnati Reds
Are you
used to
gonna do
play.
this on every one of these?
100%.
Okay.
And it's where the Bengals played football, but now they obviously play at Great American Ballpark.
Okay.
But I remember that. Am I right? Is it 4
That
home
is number
runs?
7.
Okay.
And that's 4 home run games. There's been 18 of them.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was, but you know why? You know why I remember that game too?
Sure.
Because Mark Whitten was wearing this really sweet it was the first time I can remember, or first time that the Cardinals have ever did like a alternative jersey, because they always went with the
just red,
classic
yeah.
red and gray and red and white. And it was a cool navy blue Cardinals hat that had the red STL stitching. And I went, I got to get that hat. That was my first non-Twins hat I ever bought.
9/11, when Reagan was shot. I mean, I remember all those things so clearly. Jesus, you're a weirdo. Okay, keep going.
Okay.
So you have number 7 and number 9. Again, number 7 was 4 home runs in a game, and it's been done 18 times.
Well, we got to go with things like, okay, if we're doing home runs in a game, we got to go with things like RBIs in a game.
RBIs in a game do you know how many RBIs in a game make up the rarest
I
stats?
remember Pedro Munoz from the Twins, and is it just a regular 9-inning game, or can it be extra inning game?
Well, I think 9-inning game.
Okay, well, because I know Pedro Munoz had the Twins record in like 1995, and I think that was a 9 RBI game that he had. I would guess it would be more than that.
So at 10 RBI in a game is number 6, and that's been done 15 times. Only
Holy
15
cow.
times out of 248,000 games.
Okay, honestly, I would have guessed it was more than 10 for a major league record.
Yeah, I think so. And I think I want to start calling it RSBI because that sounds better to me. Runs.
See,
that word's plural.
Can I have a quick meltdown about that very individual statistic? If I'm watching a national telecast of anything baseball related, the second I hear you refer to it as, Mike Fratelloni had 6 RBI in this game, I instantly discredit you from ever talking about the sport again, and I'm going to tell you why. The RBI, it is a run batted in, and if you have 2, it's runs batted in. However, the RBI became an identifiable statistical category years ago. Thus, it has the ability to be pluralized. Thank you.
I'd like to make it RBIX, like Latinx, RBIX, so it's gender neutral. Okay, next one. You have number 3, 6, and 7.
Well, here we go. Oral Hershiser has the consecutive. Oh, wait, that's not in a single game, though.
Yeah, it's just in a single game.
I was going to say the consecutive scoreless innings streak because he had 59 for the Dodgers back in 1988. So would it be, well, it can't be things like no-hitters because there's been a million of no-hitters.
Right?
Oh.
Number 10 is no-hitters. There's been 323 of them. So,
you know who has the record?
Who's that?
Nolan Ryan.
Nolan Ryan.
Has 7.
I probably did.
How about this fun fact about Nolan Ryan?
All right.
He has, I believe, he has obviously the most no-hitters of anybody ever in professional baseball because he played till he was 42. He also has the most one-hitters in baseball.
Really?
I think he might be tied with Bob Gibson. He also has never won the Cy Young Award, which I blew Joe's mind with that stat a while ago. Also, I saw a video of him on YouTube that was very recently because that's what I do when I have free time.
This segment's going to be horrible.
He's I think 80 years old and can throw his age.
He can still throw heat.
He's like 83 and he can still throw at 84 miles an hour, which is awesome. No, it's awesome. Are you kidding me?
He is one of the guys that has done it 323 times. That's number 10, no-hitter.
Okay, so then it would be things like perfect game.
Perfect game.
Wait, let me guess. Is there 28 perfect games?
24 perfect
games. Dang it.
Games.
Okay, 24 perfect games.
And that's number 8.
Okay. Which is, that was always like, throwing a no-hitter, yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah. I've been a part of a couple games that have had no-hitters. In fact, I just did a high school baseball game in Jordan in which both teams had their pitchers throw complete game no-hitters, and Delano lost to Mankato East 2-0.
No-hitters or perfect games?
No-hitters. They both had no-hitters. Okay. And unfortunately, one of those teams had to lose that game. Anyway, okay, so we're done to perfect game. We got to, would it be, well, we did strikeouts in a game. Would it be walks in a game?
No.
Question mark?
No.
I'm trying to think. Would it be number of pitchers used in a game?
Nope.
Dang it. Individual.
This is all kind of individual statistics.
Okay. Would it be things like hits in a game? Hits in a game's got to be there.
Yeah. How many hits in a game? What's the maximum amount of hits? Well,
I'm going to go with my guy.
Hold on. I might not have hits in a game. Hold on. I might have hits in one inning.
Ooh, hits in one inning. I mean, it can't be more than 3.
It's only been done 3 times at 3 hits.
I was going to say, if you have
history of all of baseball, only 3 players have had 3 hits in one inning.
Because I know, grand slams in one game.
Grand slams in one game. Do you know the number?
I do. It's 2.
Okay.
And it's Fernando Tatis Sr., who did it for the Montreal Expos.
How many times has that happened in grand slams in one game?
In fact, I think he did it in one inning.
Are you
not just in one game? I think Fernando Tatis Sr. did it in one inning.
I believe you. That is the number 1 stat in baseball history.
Really?
2 grand slam home runs in 2 grand slams in one inning. That's only been done 1 time.
Yeah, Fernando Tatis Sr.
2 grand slams in a game has been done 13 times.
Wow.
That is the 4th hardest stat to hit.
Okay.
You're doing really well. A couple of weird ones coming up.
Okay. Because, Fernando Tatis Jr. now, his son, plays for the Padres. He's a right fielder.
I knew that. Why are you telling me like I didn't know?
You should have said, that's not something I needed to know, Chris.
That's what she said, yeah.
Okay. I might need an assist here as far as what it might be.
Number 10 was no-hitters, 323 of them.
Got those, yep.
Number 9 is kind of a neat thing, immaculate inning.
Oh, my God. I'm surprised that's not number 1.
Well, it's been done 114 times.
Has it really? I would not.
Does everybody who's listening know what an immaculate inning is?
Well, I'm about to explain it to you, so get yourself educated here,
I know what it is now. I had to look it up.
But what's neat about that, you said 114 times.
114
I
times.
would not have guessed that was that high of a number, although we've got 240,000 games being played. And the pitching way back in the day was far more dominant than it is now.
Sure.
But yeah, so it's when you throw 9 pitches, 3 strikeouts.
Yep. Period.
Immaculate inning.
Yep. Just a perfectly clean 9-pitch inning. Pretty cool. The perfect game, right? 24 of those. We talked about that, right? Did we talk about perfect game? I think we did.
Yes, we did.
4 home runs in a game, 18 times. That's number 7.
Yep.
Number 6, 10 RBI in a game. That's been done 15 times.
RBIs.
Okay. This one is I'll give it to you because you're going to get it the moment I say it. Number 5 is unassisted triple plays.
Oh, man.
How many times do you think that's been done?
I remember the guy for the Pirates pulled it off a couple of years ago. Honestly, I don't know.
15 times.
Is it really?
And it is kind of funny because a guy will do it, and I've seen videos of guys doing it, and their brain doesn't quite catch up to the fact that they just got an unassisted triple play.
Because I always like to bring my hometown 9 into the equation. With the Twins, one-time feat against the Boston Red Sox in 1988 when they turned 2 triple plays in the same game. Is that on this particular list?
On there.
Well, that's a damn shame that it's not.
I wonder if that has to be more rare than 323 times.
Remember it's the record. I mean, no one's ever done it.
So
more
why
than
isn't that on this list?
I'm surprised that it's not, and I'm even more mad at myself that I didn't think of it on my own ahead of time.
So that was number 5 was unassisted triple plays.
By the way, I wasn't done, Mike, because it was Gaetti to Newman to Herbeck on both occasions.
Oh, really? Okay.
And former Twin Tom Bernansky is one of the people that grounded into said triple play.
So as I'm reading this, search the web and see if triple plays in a game is more, because that seems like that would be a stat that would be pretty rare. Multiple triple plays in a game.
Turning.
Number, as you're searching for that, number 4 is 2 grand slams in a game. That's happened 13 times. Number 3 is 20 strikeouts in a game. That's only been done 5 times. 20 strikeout games.
Okay, first of all, I need a correction. I was right that the Minnesota Twins are the only Major League Baseball team to turn 2 triple plays in the same game. I just got the year wrong. The historic feat occurred on July 17th, 1990. I thought it was 1988. Against the Boston Red Sox. The Twins won the game 1-0, despite the Red Sox scoring, or the Twins won the game 1-0. There you go.
I wonder why that's not on this list. Because you invented something that's only been done once.
Right.
And that's the same. Number 4 is 2 grand slams in a game. Number 3 is 20 strikeouts. Number 2 is 3 hits in 1 inning. And number 1 hardest thing that matches 2 triple plays in 1 game, right, is 2 grand slams in 1 inning.
Wow.
That's really, really, are all of these done by single players? That's what it is.
Individual
it's all done
feats.
There
you go. That's why.
Individual feats.
Individual feats.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, it
but
does.
how cool is that? 248,000 approximate games played.
Yep.
30,000 plus players that have ever played this game. And only one person's hit back-to-back grand slams in 1 inning.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's really cool. And only 323 no-hitters in all of those games.
Take that, the rest of you 13-year-old Faribault boys that had girlfriends.
Yeah,
I was studying.
Yeah, you knew them.
Baseball cards.
I think I would have gotten the no-hitter, right? I would have gotten the perfect game no-hitter. Maybe a triple play I would have gotten. Maybe some big grand slams. But I think I would have had a few of those. You, I think, got them all, Reavers.
I got
pretty
a few.
damn close.
I got a few.
Yeah, you got 8 or 9.
You know what you would get? Nuts.
Well, nuts.
You would get nuts right now. And that's We Are Nuts. And our buddies at wearenutsmn.com. I shared the information that you gave me last week with the GL crew about just basically how they're killing it right now at all the Fratallone's locations. And they said, that's insane. I go, that's how good the product is, boys.
In the first 7 days, right? So I have data for the first 7 days of the month.
Yep.
We already made this month. We did more business than we did last year. But if we continue on this pace, we'll do more business in this month than we did all of last year in We Are Nuts.
That's so cool.
And you can see the Frat Pack people Frat Packers are putting We Are Nuts all over the Frat Pack. I think it's really funny.
It's awesome. And this is a really cool promotion that we're rolling out starting today. This is a special just for you Weekly Scramble and Garage Logic listeners. Right now, through the end of the month, you get $10 off the famous Best of Toffee Nuts Nut House 4-pack which is, by the way, something that I absolutely love. All you got to do is use the discount code GLNuthouse. So you people that are listening to this show that can't make it to a Fratelloni's because you don't live in the state of Minnesota, this is a perfect way to introduce yourself with the best snack going right
Maybe
now.
you're bedridden,
Yeah.
right?
Maybe you are.
Maybe you have to use a long stick to dial the phone.
Just go to wearenutsmn.com. That's their website, wearenutsmn.com, and enter the promo code GLNuthouse. That's the price that you're going to get after the discount. That's right. It's right there on the website. So when you go to checkout, make sure you enter that promo code, and you're going to get a great deal right now through the end of the month. That code ends July 31st. It's the best. They are such a great family to work with, and we love them. So wearenutsmn.com and use the promo code GLNuthouse. The Weekly Scramble. 3, 2, here we go. Got a couple of emails I'd like to share with you, Mr. Fratelloni, if you're ready for that. You had suggested to people to go out and find and rate and review our show because it really does help the added promotion, the added value of the show, and it helps other people find our show as well. And I got a couple of great emails. The first is from Dave, Frat Pack 5000. Chris, I tried to like and review the Weekly Scramble like you and Mike instructed and attach a picture, but couldn't attach it. So I'm trying here. I'm really trying. That's Dave G in Apple Valley, number 2477 on the Frat Pack. So thank you, Dave. And also Bert was saying kind of the same thing. Hi, Chris. Hi, Mike. I feel like a dope. I'd love to give you guys a positive, get a load of these two review, but where do I go officially? Something specific. Should I click on it? I guess I just could put it in the YouTube comments, but I don't know if that's what you're looking after. So that's Bert.
You know what? Hold on 1 second. Keep talking.
All right. But anyway, it does help the show, and we do appreciate each and every single one of you that have been doing it. Back up just a little bit from there. Okay, there we go.
Okay, so you got to tell people what we're doing because most of the people listen on the show.
Okay, so Mike is pulling up the Weekly Scramble feature on his iPhone.
Yep, and then you scroll all the way down, right?
You go all the way down.
Then it says right there, rate and review. And you just write right there. And you notice that number is 121. We've had 121 rate and reviews.
That's really cool.
That's about 60 or 50 or so more than we had the other day.
That's pretty cool.
Right? That's very cool.
You were standing there. What are you showing me right now? So there you go. There you go.
Did you like that?
Dave, and you've got Bert. So that hopefully that'll help you guys out.
Okay. Is this good radio?
Yeah. You got to move over just a little bit. All right, you've got a logo on your polo shirt that looks like a golf shirt.
You see it?
I do see it.
It's a dude with a gold chain.
Okay.
Just the gold chain is falling off there. It's
okay.
East Side Golf.
East Side Golf. Yeah. So Mike was just showing the YouTube audience his East Side Golf polo shirt because I'm assuming he's headed to the course at some point in the next couple of days.
So East Side Golf is this company out of Memphis, right? African-American owned company, right? It's got to be. It's an African-American guy playing golf with a...
It's a very cool logo.
And when I saw it, it touched me. These are my people,
okay,
right?
Okay.
And I said, that's the kind of golfer I am. I'm cool. I wear chains.
Oh, so East Side Golf isn't a reference to St. Paul.
No, this isn't from Memphis. This is
that's
a totally
cool.
different town.
That's cool.
So I'm sure when they're like writing up their business plan, they're like, you know what we should do is let's sell golf shirts to guys like us. And then me, a 55-year-old white guy, said, I love those shirts more than anything. And I bought them in every color.
Really?
And they're cool. I'm going to get you one.
That's
that is a really cool thing.
I'm not joking. That is a very cool logo.
Yeah, it reminds me of like, I don't know. I just feel like I'm part of the cool guys when I wear it.
Do you think when they find out that the 55-year-old white guy from St. Paul,
sell it?
They're going to say, oh, God.
Remember FUBU, like for us, by us or whatever?
For sure, yeah.
And then it sold to a Japanese firm and they were like, wait, that ain't going to work. These guys are going to have to sell to a Japanese company. And they're like, Fratelloni bought some. We no longer fit into
We're not
the cool
guys.
Anymore. We got to get rid of this. But super cool. That was my shirt. I'm always respectful to people, reverse. I'm always respectful. You know this,
of course. I've been out with you many times in public. Yeah.
That I knock on my refrigerator before I open it.
You knock on the refrigerator before you open it.
Yeah, I do it just in case the salad is dressing. Okay, that was not good.
The salad is dressing.
Okay, here's another one.
All right.
What's the difference between a dirty bus stop and a lobster with breast implants? What?
Mike, I don't know. What is the difference?
One is a crusty bus station, and the other is a busty crustacean.
That wasn't bad.
Reavers,
that was pretty good.
If you're listening, and you're still listening to this show,
right?
And if you're watching us on YouTube, and you don't rate and review us at a 5 after that line, busty crustacean, We can't do any better than this. This is as good as we can get, and you are the best.
Thank you,
Readers.
Michael. Please do us a favor, as Mike mentioned, rate and review the show wherever you happen to be listening to the Weekly Scramble podcast. We really do appreciate it. His name is Mike Fredoloni. My name is Chris Reavers. Thank you so very much for tuning in to the Weekly Scramble podcast. We will talk to you again next time, and until then, cheers.